I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team USA.
It's Thursday, it's 8 o'clock, and it's the Big Detective Show, and the Facebook stream's working.
Hey.
Is that it? Is that all I get? Hey.
Yeah. You all right, Dave? How are you feeling?
Well, I'm absolutely knackered, mate. I had
someone's injected you, haven't they?
Yes, I was injected last Friday. And I've been off my feet more or less ever since. Absolutely knackered me out. Losing battle as well. I've got a condition called fibromyalgia, so one starts the other. And there you go. Look at me. I'm knackered. I've got hair, and I look dead peculiar, and I don't feel right with hair. I'm going to might cut it off with this knife in a minute. How are you, Adrian?
Right. Yeah, I'm not too bad. Busy week, but yeah, I'm good. The weather's getting better, and Sunday in Essex was bliss. Absolutely beautiful. Went out detecting as usual, and it was just, I kept stopping and just looking at the sky, like just thinking, and it was warm, it was lovely.
How were the ground conditions?
I went out Friday as well. Friday was awful. Took the McGrafter, heavy clay soil, performed well, really well. And really weird, couple of days, and then Sunday was just beautiful. The soil was lovely. A little bit wet underfoot, but nothing major. Found a Roman site with my mate, so we're busy sorting that out.
Me and Arkeo Boy, we're going out definitely this weekend, and I can't wait for March the 8th when I can stop homeschooling and they can go to school, and I go metal detecting every day until I'm allowed back to work.
And April the 12th, the pubs are open.
That's just nice, isn't it? Well,
when's my birthday, Dave?
Is it April the 12th, perchance?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. What a lovely present. So,
well, shall we crack on?
Yeah,
because
move on.
We've got an exceptionally busy show tonight. We've got a guest with all sorts of information, so we want to obviously get through that. So we hit the news straight away. Luke, I'm sharing the screen. Get through the news, and we will get straight to it. So, weekly news roundup. First and foremost, lots of things going on the website this week. New articles and such like. There's one I want you to point out to. Cy Weller, his Facebook group, what's it called? Stop Wishing, Go Digging, have got this absolutely awesome watercolour of Sir Tom Moore charity auction at the moment on Stop Wishing Go Digging. Please visit that and you will find that. But loads and loads of articles. There's a new one one day over the weekend. I can't remember because I was completely out of it. In fact, we'll get there straight away because it's part of this week's weekly news. And that is the first article that we'll look at. And in its exquisite crucifix discovered. Look at that. It's got little alien eyes and everything.
Oh, yeah. Really nice.
And this was discovered in Staffordshire by Shane Holdcroft using a Minelab Vanquish. You could obviously click on there. I was that tired on Friday when I published it. I actually wrote it, spelt exquisite with an A instead of an I within it. So someone pointed out, oh yeah, cheers. I'll change that. So yeah, beautiful. Well done, Shane. Next up, the Bredon Hills Roman Coin Hoard, Birmingham Museums, a window into grassroots archaeology. And this is obviously you click onto there and they're doing a on-demand program of talks, one of which is being the Bredon Hills Hoard, Roman Hoard, which looks quite delightful. Our friends, I love following these chaps at the Black Rock Lave Net Heritage Fishery, who've actually been stopped from doing their work by the Welsh Heritage. They're not allowed to fish. There's a lot ongoing campaign to allow it. It's the traditional way of fishing. I think they're only allowed to take something like 2 salmon out of the water at a time. But, you know, it's while they're there, instead, they do lots of walking around, and I found some absolutely fascinating things. Last year, there was a mammoth tusk. There's been all sorts of clay pipes and such like, and they're picking up lots of Second World War munitions. So, again, from the riverbed, crack on there. Click on there. Another again story of how a British diver claims to have found Hitler's lost gold 450 metres deep in the Baltic Sea above the Wilhelm Gustloff ship, which was sunk by Soviets in January 1945, killing 9,500 people on board. So there's the story of allegedly Hitler's gold on the Nazi shipwreck. Next up, now this is the first of 2 Hansen stories that we've got. Adam Staples pointed this one out to me. A fishmonger could net a fortune after finding a mysterious buried treasure in the Peak District. This was found in the grounds of Caston Hall in Staffordshire's Manifold Valley, and it's a 400-year-old gold seal ring discovered by a detectorist, and they're claiming it could estimate about 25 to 30,000 pounds at the auctions today and tomorrow. I don't know how that's gone yet. Coins can inspire people to look into the past. This is an interview with lots of people by the BBC looking at their coin collections, from this lady to people who are metal detectorists, people that bought them on auctions, passed down generations, etc., etc. And the rest of my article seems to have disappeared. There was more than that. I mustn't have saved it properly. There was another one anyway from Hansen's. I had to cut the news short, which is good. There was another one from Hansen's about I can't remember what it was, something else from Hansen's. And do you remember the one that contacted us a couple of weeks ago? DW, I think they were called. I can't remember the name. And it was a big article with a reverend's entire coin collection that had been auctioned.
Yeah.
They've sent me another full article today regarding some notes that have been sold in auction there. So that'll be going over in the next couple of days. So that's the news. Cut it short. It was done on purpose, honestly.
I like the Mormon talisman that was on there.
Oh, and Tony D. Yeah, we were actually discussing. He the reason I republished that post is because he'd been trying to find it and I had it rescheduled for later in the month. But he was telling somebody else about it, and obviously all the information in the story is there. So I republished it on his behalf. And he actually had somebody trying to buy it off him. So I said, whoa. I've had first dibs for 3 years on that.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's linked to witchcraft potentially as well, isn't it?
Druidism, Freemasonry, Mormonism, the beginnings of Mormonism, witchcraft, folklore, all sorts. It's a wide range.
First witchcraft trials in the country, 1566, were carried out right near me.
Really?
5-minute walk down the road, yeah. And I've read some of the history behind it, and it's really funny. It's like there was a 12-year-old girl who accused 3 women who shared a cat called Satan that they were witches because the cat was trained to soil on butter. And the 3 women were hanged because of it. I was just thinking, but that, talking about coins and history, when you pick up a hammer and stuff and you think, oh my God, yeah, that's old. But at the time, the person holding that believed in witches and was chucking them in rivers wrapped in chains. And
I actually thought you were going to say, had that coin been soiled on by a cat?
We could have been. Yeah, could have been.
Still could be.
Famous witch trials, very interesting.
Anyway, shall we bring on our guest tonight? He's a little bit late from a couple of weeks ago because we had technical issues, but we're glad to say that Barrie Jon Bower is with us this evening. Good evening, Barrie.
Holy fail or grail? Oh, no.
Barrie, are you with us?
Can you put the light on, Barrie?
Put 50p in the meter.
Well,
Here he is. Hiya, Barrie.
We still got technical issues.
It's the curse of the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine. We always have it on the Big Detecting Show.
What it keeps doing, guys, it does keep breaking out, yeah? So if it does come back in. So just to warn you, yeah? So, but it only takes a few seconds, but I don't know what it is. But anyway, how you doing? You guys all right?
Marvellous. Glad to have you on the show, Barrie. Yeah. Barrie, we'll get straight into it. Please, can you introduce yourself personally to the audience? And then we'll go on about the history of how things have come into place about where you're up to in your project tonight.
Okay. Well, obviously, you know my name. My name's Barrie. In 2017, I was passed down some information in regards to what I found. Piecing together the information given to me. Like I say, this isn't just a find, it's something that has been passed down to me. I'll say more about this later on. Just putting all the pieces together, contacting people around the world about what I know and how I understand things to be, including the Templars as well. And it all matches. So I'm just a guy with a bit of a plan at the moment. That's basically what I am. That's about it.
But I don't know this personally because I've not asked you this question, but it's suggested in the media that you've been researching this subject quite intensively for the last 30 years.
No, see that this is the media. This is the media for you, mate. It's been the last 4 years, and it has been intensively. But as I say, it's not just research. There's a lot more to do with this. And as I say, it's information that was passed down to me. This isn't just something that I've just pulled out the hat and gone, here we go, there it is, So yeah. I can piece together the story for you as well, which is what I think everybody really wants to hear most of all.
Yeah, please crack on. And Adrian, butt in at any point.
Well, it's all. If anybody knows the area which I'm talking about, which is the Feltham area, the Hounslow area, and it does. If you take your history back, basically you're talking Heathrow Airport. This is where you're looking at, and you're taking yourself back now to the Roman times. You're taking yourself back to history, and you've got to forget about Heathrow. You've got to forget about buildings. You've got to forget about the lay of the land as it is now. And we all know, well, not all, but many in the local areas around Hounslow, Feltham, we all know that there are a lot of Roman workings, which were especially found under Heathrow itself when they were building it. But the area that I'm talking about and the area that I'm looking at, this is just an offset from Heathrow. And this is part of the old Roman ruin, or the old Roman city that was there. This city was enormous. This is an old Julius Caesar's city, forts, whatever you want to call it. It goes back even. I think it even goes back to some links with Constantinople as well. I've actually looked at this. I think I've got it back going to around about 70 AD. It's where I can sort of get this back to of the beginnings of it. So what I've managed to do is piece together the Roman parts moving into the Celtic parts, which is where it brings me into the mingling there of the clash. The clash of where it sort of comes together here. You guys still with me on this, or?
Yeah.
Right, so you're talking the clash between the Saxons and the Celts. The period of history we're looking at. You guys might be able to correct me on this. I'm finding it hard because history is quite hard to piece together, and you guys can probably fully agree with me on this completely. This time period, I'm looking in between 700 AD and 1000 AD. Was this time period where that battle of the Saxons and the Celts and the full-on heads up where it come together happened, right? And there is a reference to this, and the best battles that you can look at to put reference to this is the battles of Camalan or Camalan, however you want people pronounce it, and the battles of Mount Badon. And this is the main. Well, let's say the Battle of Camalan was Battle 11, and the Battle of Mount Badon was Battle 12. That is the final battles of the Saxons and Celts. That's when the Celts took over from that Saxon period. So it says in history, okay? But I think as well, I know the story to be a little bit different to what's being said there. It is basically what has happened. But the battles that did occur, they weren't just normal battles. They were battles over these bolts. And this is where it comes into the Templars. The Romans, the Templars bringing everything to Hounslow Heath. Have you guys heard that legend? Have you heard the legend about the Crusades, all the treasures coming back to Hounslow Heath? Have you ever heard this?
Personally, no. I'm not au fait with Southern history, to be fair.
Racist. It's interesting because there's also legend that King Arthur left. It was in Canterbury as well, in Somerset.
Well, this brings it into Arthur, and this is again part of the story that I don't want to disclose as yet. I want to obviously get this found, and then the rest of this story can progress from there. If I start saying all bits, and it just get too confusing for people at that stage. So where I sort of got to with it is the battles of Camalan and the battles of Mount Badon. This is my point of where my reference point, what I've used really to secure this. But people don't know where Camalan is and Mount Badon. You guys have obviously heard of this. You've heard of these places.
Yeah.
Have you heard of these places?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Right. But nobody's been able to locate them. So is mine just a guess at the moment? People are probably saying, nobody knows where it is. How do you know where it is? As I say, it's sort of been passed down to me. So that again, that's all I want to keep saying on that point at the moment. But if you tie in the battles of Mount Badon and Camalan to the areas of Hampton Court, and what the ground used to be. Hounslow Heath before let me think here, around about the 1100s, it used to be just heath. It used to be an open ground. It used to be the Roman settlement, and then it come into the period of Henry I. But I'm sure it happened before this. It come into the period of Henry I, and from that point on, the Hounslow Heath area from about Hampton Court to Harrow become private hunting ground. Basically, nobody was allowed on this land at all, and this has been documented, and you can look this up. This is physical evidence, physical proof. Henry I, what it says he did in Scripture was that he raised the land. For then he raised the land, and this was the land on Hounslow Heath. Basically, all this used to be flat land. If people want to do some research, go back into records, as you can do. The heath was flat. That's what a heath is. It was flat. And I've gone back to around about 1000 AD, or sort of looking into as much as you can through what you can. And it used to be flat land. It was completely flat. Yeah. It come into the Henry I period, and all of a sudden you have a hill there, which is now Faltham Hill, or Faltham, that area. Yeah. It was never a hill. There was never a hill there, first of all. So what happened on that land? That's the question you people sort of got to go, okay, what's going on there? What happened is the whole town was buried. That's where it says, for then he raised the land. If you're trying to hide something and make something disappear, or a town disappear, what's the easiest thing to do? Is it easier to knock it down, or would you say, is it easier to bury it? What would your question be on that?
Historically, we've knocked things down, haven't we? Hence Roman settlements being used, because the materials are often used to build other things like churches. It depends what era, but yeah, I'd say knock things down.
No, if you go back before that, if you go back to the Romans, and a lot of the ways that they hid things, it was actually burial. They actually did bury it. And if you have a look at this is why a lot of the stuff that you're on, the remains that you're finding, and people are finding the Roman remains, they're buried, and they're deep because they were buried. It's not because it's just years of just soil dust going on top of it, or it's not that. It's the fact that they were physically, some of these places were physically hidden. Isn't it strange that our history I think you guys again can back me up on this. Anything before the 1200s is near enough impossible to find, isn't it? Have you tried looking at this? Have you tried having a look far back as that? I've gone into.
To be honest, yes, I'm doing my family tree, and I'm way back into the about the 600s now.
Yeah.
So
that's a long way back.
It is. Great family tree, some great people on there. Blue-blooded in parts, but yeah, I've done some great research. So Barrie, all of the information that you've got, how did this come to the attention of the media?
I've been doing this for years, and I've gone through many different aspects of trying to get this done. I've obviously gone through trying to go through the red tape of British museums. I've gone down the English heritage route. I've gone down the coroner's office. I've gone down every single bit of route that I could find. And then what I've done is made sure that my information is correct by checking my avenues, by going to people like the Templars, which I've contacted in Valencia. My guy over there, Humberto, he's backed up what I've told them. They understand it ought to be in England as well. So once I put all my information together and was very confident and was truly aware of what I have, and go, okay, yes, this is completely correct, I went to the media myself, and I was like, okay, this is the story. This is what is happening, and do you want to follow it? And it took a little while, but they come back and they were like, okay, let's have a look at this. The funny thing is, and again, this isn't coincidence. Before I knew about anything else, I've worked this out. I've looked at it, and then other people have come to me and said, "Have you looked at what the History Channel have done?" I've gone, no. And they've showed me the map, what the History Channel have done, where the History Channel have done it from Jerusalem to England. And the actual line and the markings where I have it is exactly the same as the History Channel as well. It's exactly the same area. It's the Sun looked into all this. They looked into the things that I've told them, and they were happy enough to run with it. I've got them chasing me every single day, basically, to get this finished. I'm just waiting on the Environment Agency now.
Yeah, because I understand it's under a river. John. It's under a river.
Yeah, it's under a river. Well, yeah, it's only a small river. It's called the Dukes River. Well, it's Cumberland River now, but before then it was called the Dukes River. And after Henry I, I followed it through the kings as far as you could. It was known as their secret place, basically. This is what it was. There wasn't much writing about it because it was kept as a secret. But I picked this back up with Henry VIII. That's where the key lies with the vault as well. This is one of the big selling points for me. Once, obviously, before I knew about the story of Henry VIII, I already sort of worked out that it was the vaults, that there was something here. And then I've looked into Henry VIII's writings and things that he did and what he was doing. And when he took power, one of the first things that he did was open up the grounds of Hampton Court. Like I say, it used to be completely private hunting grounds, and you're talking again from Hampton Court near enough to Harrow. This area was just the King's Land. It was private. Henry VIII took over and he opened up the lands to the public. But what he did, he only opened it up to a guy who was going to run a marketplace. To the public, but the guy was to run a market. But the guy was only allowed to run the market if he looked for and discovered the missing vaults and the missing church, right? Doesn't that fall again sort of into a non-coincidental period where everything that I have seems to again match up with something that he was saying as well? It's a very, very strange story. I can agree with people being skeptical, but like I say, there's a lot more to it, which I just can't physically say right now. It's I want to do it in sections. I don't want to say what it's called.
Barry, out of interest, obviously, what brings you? I know you said you got inside information, or not inside, because that'd be quite bizarre. But you've got information about the location. But what is it that's drawn you to the Holy Grail more than, say, I don't know, discovering about UFOs or Loch Ness? What is? Are you a religious person? Are you looking for everlasting happiness and life? What's drawn you specifically to the Holy Grail?
And again, it's what the definition of the Grail is very different to me. For me, to what other people depict it as. But I know it as something different to what we've been told, and that's again, I don't want to go into too many details. What about if I said that the things that you just said there? You said all these different things. Why am I not looking into these things? Why am I looking into this? What about if I said it's all interlocked? What about if I said this information, because it's information. It's not about treasure. Let me get one thing very straight here. This isn't about me going, oh, I found a treasure or something like that. This is about information. What about if this information was to do with everything? So
obviously a lot of people have thoughts. We all think of it as a cup, but some people think of it as a dish, even a stone. What do you envisage it actually being?
Well, it's them pesky Romans again, renaming things and rebranding things and changing things as we know they like to do. Well, if you if you go onto a computer, right, and you go into typesets of writing, when you write your fonts and things like that, you can choose your writing font, right, and then,
oh dear.
I'm sure we'll get him back momentarily.
Barry's got font issues.
We've all got font issues. Luke, can you just share the screen a moment? And I've got an image of
writing.
The area where... Oh, he's back. We lost you for a minute, so I was just pulling up an image of where the Duke of Northumberland's river actually is.
Okay. Where did you lose me at?
The fonts.
Oh, the fonts. If you go into font types, writing fonts, there is a font called Roman Grail writing. So if you think that, what's the possibility that Grail was actually maybe a form of writing, and really that really translates into holy writing? And is it coincidental that Jesus was always holding a book? He's never. I'm not a religious man, so please get me right on this. But if I've seen any paintings or anything that I can recognize of him or anything, him holding anything, I've always seen him holding a book. So if that's the case, wouldn't in my eyes, what I know, this, like I say, this is my information only at the moment. You know, I've yet to prove all this. You know, this is just me saying. So I don't want religious people coming to me going, "You're trying to break this. You're trying to crash religion." I'm not trying to do that at all. It's just my understanding, and you know, it could. I believe it to be, but I believe that it's not. I see. When I went to the newspaper, it wasn't just I said, "Oh, I found the Grail." I said that I found the missing Templar treasure. Basically, that it's all of it, and they've condensed it into a little bit something smaller. It's a lot bigger. You know, it's not just about a cup. It's, as I say, it's very important. That's what I know it to be.
You think it could be like something that would change the world?
Something that will give us information. Yeah, this is why everybody's been looking for this for so long. I understand it. Yeah, and this will give us some unknown history that has been, let's say, look, are you guys aware? I'm sure you are, that we're not being quite told the truth on some of our history, and that is well known. I'm sure that most people have worked that out by now. But it's like, what are we missing? Yeah, because everything has been suppressed.
Barry's paused again for a moment. The proper, or is it me? Are you there, Adrian?
No, yeah, I'm there.
Yeah,
sorry,
we're there.
I was just.
So sadly, it's a bit in and out as he suggested. So what we?
Sorry,
I can't. You first.
There's a lot of questions to ask in the chat for Barry.
There are. And I think what we can surmise at the moment is that there's potentially some form of Templar treasure buried below, in a cavity below the Duke of Northumberland River in London area. So that's what we can surmise up to now. And obviously, keep your questions coming, and we'll get them over to Barry when we're able to get a connection. Barry, are you back with us?
Yay!
Here he is.
Yay!
Barry, I've just got a quick question.
Oh, my life, my days.
Just a quick question. You don't live near where the location you feel the Holy Grail is. So do you have to commute, or do you stay down there?
I used to live there. I used to live in the area. I've had a bit of a journey trying to get this done. I moved up to Scotland for about a year, and I was travelling down from Scotland to try and get it finished. Then I've come back down to the Forest of Dean, where I was born. I come back here. Basically, I lost my mum also in 2017, and this all happened all sort of at the same time, kind of thing. And so I come back to the Forest of Dean, and Steve and Jackie, my friends, who have been helping me, are sort of here with me now. They've been helping me go up and down to do this. I told Steve, I basically haven't seen this guy in 20, 25, 30 years, Steve. And I just bumped into him the one day, told him my story, said, look, I've been trying to get back up to London. I can't do it. I need to do this. Once I told him everything that I knew, he sort of was like, okay, this sounds feasible. I was like, really? Cheers, mate. And we've been running up and down, doing little bits, stuff that you guys have seen, obviously, which again, I can't say at this time. You guys know it. Obviously you've seen what I've sent you. It's just.
Oh, gone again.
So we've surmised. So where are we up to now? We've surmised then it's some form of Templar treasure hidden below the Duke of Northumberland River in London.
Early start, 1 o'clock.
And Barry has early starts at 1 o'clock. Sorry, Barry.
Yeah, 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, no. Start at 1 o'clock in the morning. Travel down. It takes about 2.5 hours to travel down, nice and slow. While Steve's driving, it can take 4. Yeah. Right. And we just, been doing that for the last 6 months, getting everything in place, putting all the final bits in, doing the risk assessments for the Environment Agency. It has to be done properly. You know, I was trying to do it before blind, if you know what I mean. I was trying to just go out there and thought, right, I can get this done without doing all this, and it's like
frozen.
What? Like,
Barry's frozen.
Oh, I thought you want me to start singing. Do you want to build a snowman then?
Yeah, go on.
Do you want to build a snowman?
And when you need to divert a river, you know, you need the. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. One of my dying questions: how deep is the river, Barry?
Well, it's not. It's actually not a very deep river in its sense, anyway. It's probably about, I don't know, 2 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot in some of its deep. Well, in some of the bits, but it's probably deeper in some places where it stood. But where the vault's located is probably only a few inches deep, because, like I say, the vault, it's not a river bottom there. It's a rooftop. Yeah, that's the difference. That bit is, as you can see from the pictures that I sent you, it's a concrete area, where the rest, if you look, is like a normal river. It has.
Yeah, we'll have a look at them after the break and whatnot.
Yeah, I was going to ask Barry if he's run a detector over it.
I don't think so as yet. I know he, as we'll probably get onto later in the show, he's trying to get permission from the Environmental Agency to divert the water flow to be able to conduct a geophysical study of the area. Yeah,
they were going to do it, weren't they? And because of COVID, it was cancelled.
Apparently so. That's a really good frozen view this time. He looks proper look like Elsie's. Oh,
that
he's
is
back.
very out of. No good.
He's back.
I'm back. I don't know what I've got a full reception here, so I don't know what it is, guys. I really got no idea.
Adrian just asked the question: have you been able to run a metal detector over the area, over the water?
No, you wouldn't. It wouldn't pull anything back. That's what I started when I started speaking to all the geophysics guys. They said, look, you're pointless doing that, because if you know, it's going to be, if it is a vault, for number one, I'm talking the roof there, you're going to be talking a void beneath it. So they need to do the geophysics. They need to do it with the pressure and other things that they can do. Is it something called magmatrometry or something like that?
Yeah. Magmatrometry, yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah, it gets expensive when the Environment Agency are meant to turn up on a day and they don't bloody turn up. That gets expensive, yeah.
Get Cleggy to sort it for him.
Yeah. But you haven't gone over anywhere in the area with a normal, like, high-end metal detector, hand one, you know.
No, that's what I was going to ask you guys. I was going to actually ask you, you're more than welcome, because this area, what this is, and like I say, there is a lot of Roman remains down here, and when I spoke to the council and other people, they know about all this. This is a very untouched area that sort of is very tucked out the way that you wouldn't sort of know unless you were there that it exists. So if you guys ever wanted to come down, I give you guys the details. You come down with me, and you guys get the permission to do it. I'd rather somebody like you do that side of things and do it properly than somebody like me. Do you know?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, listen, I'm about to share the screen again because we're coming up to the Diggers Dips weekly prize draw. And let me just refresh the screen. There you go. And 1 minute 41 seconds until that's actually up. There we are. So again, chat amongst yourselves. You can see the countdown, and when we get a bit closer to the draw, we will cut off.
Barry, how did you go about getting permission to do what you do where you are to look for the Holy Grail? Oh, I've confused him.
Well, anyway, I'll tell you what then. This week's draw, Adrian. First prize is Britain's First Coins book by Chris Rudd. Second prize is 10 Diggers Dips tokens, and in third prize 5 Diggers Dips tokens. Thank you as ever to Diggers Dips for that. And just to make people aware, those of you who've won our spot prizes over the last couple of weeks, their prizes, Luke has posted our side of the prizes, and I've confirmed today. I've been completely out the loop. I apologise, but I've confirmed with Dan Spencer the addresses for the people who won. So you'll just have to wait to see what comes through your draw. Door. From the draw to the door. Hey, I like that. Good catchphrase I've just made. From the draw to the door. Do you like that?
Yeah.
I like that. I'll have that one on a T-shirt. Barry's back. Right, 10 seconds. No, it's not. Behave. Let me refresh it.
How many entrants?
5 for this week, 36. So, Barry, pick a number between 1 and 36.
36.
36. 19 for me, Adrian.
36.
You've said 30. It's already had that.
Yeah, but Barry knows where the Holy Grail is, so
Yeah,
I'm going to go with him.
36. I'll go for 36. I'll go 36.
That's going to be 36.
I love it.
Oh, come on.
We're not talking to someone normal on the show tonight, Dave.
Oh, I'm devastated.
Harry's 2 foot out.
Oh, look who's won. I've won. It's Barry. It's Barry's done it. I won. Way me.
Very powerful, Barry.
Second prize. Barry, please, your number. Between 1 and 36.
10.
Adrian?
4.
I'm going for 10.
10.
I'm going for 10. Oh, it's going to be 36 now, isn't it? Stu Vickers has won 10 Diggers Dip tokens. This is the best draw ever. Barry, what number? Is Barry frozen?
Yeah. I haven't had this much fun since I put 80085 on the calculator and held it upside down.
55378008. 3?
You still there?
What number?
30.
20 what? 20 what?
30.
26. It can't be 30. 26. John Cornwall, congratulations. And I'm sure we'll sort all them out, no problem. I'll get the book probably, and then I'll send it. I'll have it as a competition of our own, and we'll put it out in the future with one of our spot prizes. So thanks to Diggers Dips. That was absolutely fantastic. Loved every minute of it. And off over we go to the adverts.
You search through the lonely earth for me, climb through the briar and bramble. I'll be your treasure. I felt the touch of the king.
Welcome back, everybody. That's the most fun we've had on the show for a long time, Adrian.
Yes, David.
That was fantastic. And you know, the only reason I actually put my name in that, because somebody tagged me in it. So I put my name in and tagged you in it, but you didn't put your name in it.
No, because I didn't think it was fair, Dave.
Yeah, but I'm going to give it out as a prize anyway.
Yeah. With like egg stains on the cover and book's
a book, mate.
Yeah, it's a book. Good book you got there. Very good book.
I've not got that one, so I will flick through it before I pass it on out. Anyway, again, Luke, you can bring Barry back by all means, so we can have a look at these pictures with us. Save him being off screen, but we're going to have a look at this week's viewers' finds, if we can. Where are we now? Where am I? Oh,
Barry.
Can you see me?
I can see your screen.
Right, excellent. Just to show you, Detectorware UK, as you can see there, www.detectingwareuk.co.uk. I've got some nice little metal card things.
Cracking. Absolutely brilliant.
They've also got, what are these called? Grids as well. These are as cheap as chips. Absolutely brilliant. Sassy Searchers, we mentioned them a couple of weeks ago. It's a ladies-only metal detecting group, which I'm going to get into some way. I will change my name to Davina if I must, but I will get in and see what's going on with them. Well, fantastic ladies' finds and all sorts going on. I put an order in yesterday and I can't wait to see what the quality of everything looks like. Anyway, well, I know that Graham Dempsey's actually, he's ordered 2 T-shirts, which comes a day, and he said, spot on.
Yeah, they are. Quality. They're really good quality. They're really nice.
Well, I got the one that he sent a couple of weeks ago, which was a little bit small for me, but yeah, the quality was great. Anyway, right, here we go. Asociación de Detective Aficionados Sierra de Guadarrama.
Okay. Yeah.
These are some of their finds from the last week. As I say, I'm going to flick through these reasonably fast. But Adrian, if you see anything of consequence, just give it. I love that bell.
Yeah, I've only found a couple of bells. Found a bell a few years ago. Oh yeah. Do you know what? I like this because this is like most people's finds.
Yeah, it is. It's
true, and it's like a lucky dip. There might be something in there. 1978 Kit Kat foil.
Look at that. Could be gold. Bottom left below the bullets. Never know. There's a close-up of the bell. Darren Richardson, an absolutely exquisite display.
That
Can't
is
put my finger on it. Why?
No, that's nice. Nice, like the thing in the centre.
Can't thank you enough for getting that, Darren. It's I'll buy you a brew if I ever see you in work, if we're ever allowed in. I'm allowed in the 31st of March, apparently, but we'll see. But yeah, shows the quality. But yeah, great selection of finds, but it shows the quality of the photographic grid as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. The only thing I would say is it'd be nice if it had a colour bar on it, so you can calibrate the colours.
Right.
That's me being a bit pedantic, but
this
looks
is
like I'm back, guy.
This is Darren Booth, Henry VI half groat.
Lovely.
I love the way that he's took that with the blue background as well. It just makes it for me totally different than you normally see on any image.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that the contrast is important to pull out coins.
I found out recently that Portable Antiquity Scheme would prefer a grey background than a white background.
Mm. Oh, grey.
Yes.
Sorry, I thought you said something else.
No, not one of them. This is David Haggerty.
Nice.
Jamie Williams. This is another one of the this photographic scale things from Detecting Ware UK, and he stole his daughter's lamp as well. So he's waiting to see how long she realises that the lamp's been stolen.
I've got one of those. They're really, really good.
Do you know what? I'll set up at some point and take some photographs of the one I've got. It's absolutely superb. It's a PC USB microscope, and it's stunning. Absolutely brilliant. This is Lee Hull. Sally posted this on his behalf. Mark Lawson, his bit of a hood that he's come across this week.
Wow. Cool.
Even with the bits of pot as well. Fantastic, that, isn't it?
Yeah, really nice. Similar finds to what I'm bringing up on my permission at the moment, actually.
Marvellous.
Yeah.
Sexy.
Nice how he's kept the pottery.
Again, this is one after they've not long just come up. He also sent one. He was using both the Equinox and the Vanquish on the site.
Do you know what? There's a lot coming up with the Vanquish at the moment.
Yes, and I've heard that have they got a new coil as well on? Oh no, sorry, the
That's
new coil
Nox.
on the Garrett, isn't it?
Yeah, coil and the Nox.
There's
the
a Viper
Nox and
coil
the
on the Viper coil on the Garrett. It's pulling up things as well.
Yeah, very nice.
This is Mark Lawson again. Oh yes, the Vanquish image. I didn't think I put that one in.
340, yeah.
Pete Dugan. A number of finds coming from Pete Dugan. I love the way he's added the images like this as well, because you can discuss both sides at one time. So he's had a nice few Ahmeds up, and that was in situ as well. Okay. This is Cy Weller's week, him and his dad on one of their sites. And again, fantastic array of finds.
Yeah, really nice. Do like them on wood. Don't know what it is. Seems to set the atmosphere. I like wood.
I like the sexy ones where they put the hammered coin in the crop.
Oh, in the stubble.
Yeah.
I tried a few of those.
I did, but I kept losing my finds. This is Sky, recent finds. She's doing well as a young Sky. For those who don't know, Sky, I think Sky's either 12 or 13. Forgive me if I'm wrong, Sky and her dad Ian. And she's out and about all the time with her dad, and she's pulling up some great things. And we found out last week as well off Dan that these hand grenade inserts, did he say something like that? Some of them are actually quite well collectible.
Yeah, a lot of collectors out there for those.
This is Steve Mobbs. He sent me this 2 weeks ago, so we're just getting them on this week because I'm tired and I forgot. Lovely coin.
Nice condition.
And one of his... There's a ring there, which I've got another picture of, and obviously the brooch. And there's one of the ring, and there's a better one of the ring, I think, next. No, next again. No, next again. Oh, that's lovely.
Cool, dear.
There's the ring. Very nice.
Lovely.
And that is this week's Reader's Find. So thank you, everybody. If you'd like to show your images on the show, go on to join the Big Detecting Show Facebook group. Add your finds every week, and during the week I'll put them in a file to show them at this time on the show every week. Thank you, everyone. It's great to see, and obviously it's great input for everybody to see what you're finding as well. And you might find something that you can't identify that somebody else, one of the viewers, can, and vice versa. So, anyway, Barry, you're back.
I'm back.
Don't move too fast or you might go again. Do it in slow motion. Barney, we got a couple of questions. I thought he paused again. One of the questions that I've had asked was from Graham Dempsey from the Composite Cleaning Pencil. See what I've done there, Adrian? I've got it written up there on the board, and I looked out the corner of my eye. He'd like to know. In fact, we'll bring the images up that Barry's sent to us, Luke, please, if that's okay. If I can find them, there they are, in there. No, so obviously, this is you in the river. Yep. And again and again. So let's look at your images. The ones I took off the internet are actually a bit crap in comparison. But we can see, obviously, the river. Is this the area generally that you believe that to be the Grail beneath?
The vault. Yeah, well, it's more to the back. The one where I'm stood next. Yeah. It's that back area where you start to see the weirs. Those parts of the weirs are basically rooftops. They're not. They're built down into the river. It's not. Right. It's not quite as it seems. Well, if you were to go and stand on it, really that should be a solid concrete, but it's not. It's hollow. You bang it and you can hear that it's hollow.
Right. So if we go back to the smaller images of the weir. Sorry, we can't see them great because they'll go out of pixelation and whatnot. But we can see basically what you're on about. It's not deep. It's 2 or 3 inches deep where you stood, I take it.
Yep.
So one of the questions I've had from Graham Dempsey, underneath where you're stood there, the roof of the vault, let's call it, is a brick line on the bottom of the river. Is that correct?
No, it's a concrete. It's again, I haven't quite. I need to get somebody to test exactly what it is. It's not brick. There's so many different eras there that have
frozen.
Do you want to build a snowman? So anyway, we can see the general area that he's discussing, and Graham asked
up on different there. There's different brickwork. Back. You there, guys?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we're.
Yeah, sorry, it broke again. Yeah, there's different materials, the ages, and they're all just so mismatched. If you look at for example, if you look at the image with me stood at the back with the guy from the Sun, the first one again, you'll see the steps, in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just so out of place. Can you see them?
Yeah.
But just behind him, I think it is. Yeah, it's behind where he is. There might be another image where you can actually see.
Right.
Maybe the
I think I know what you're on about. We've got that one. That the one?
That's the one. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. There's no reason for them either. It's very peculiar. I've had the head guard. Well, I contacted the Duke of Northumberland. This is what I was getting to earlier. And he sent his head gardener over to me, and he's the head gardener of Sion House. He's come out, he's looked at all the features, he looked at the structure, because I thought it was the Duke of Northumberland who still owned the river there. And it's not, it is obviously the Environment Agency, the council. But even his guy from Sion House, who is obviously used to seeing old remains because of obviously the old... They deal with Hampton Court as well. He said it doesn't work. The structure, everything else, it's just very out of place. It's irregular. It shouldn't. None of it fits. It just seems like it's not. It shouldn't be there. The weir, where they're going to have to divert the river. Are you still there, guys? Yeah, to make sure I haven't gone off. Yeah. Right, you can see the bit where they're going to divert the river. You know that sluice gate that you can see in one of the pictures?
Yeah.
That
way, other way. That one?
That's the one, yep.
Yeah.
Right, that sluice gate. When they open that, right, I've been inside there, and we've gone inside that tunnel to see what it is. The tunnel again is about probably 1,500, 14, maybe 1,300. I don't. Again, there's the levels of bricks inside the tunnel. It doesn't match again. It's all different eras. If I need to get an expert down there and he'll say exactly the same. Steve, he's quite good at stuff like this. He's worked on buildings, and the brickwork doesn't work. Well, basically what I'm trying to say is when you open that sluice only goes halfway down that vault area. It doesn't do anything. That sluice wasn't to power anything. It wasn't to open or to divert the water to make a stronger run or to do something like that. It doesn't do anything like that. All it seems to do is divert the water from the top of that vault, or from the top of that area. That's the only thing it does. It doesn't do nothing else. It just seems a very, very peculiar thing for something that doesn't do nothing. And again, this is what the guy from Soren House has said. He just said none of this makes sense, and the only thing that I can put it down to, what I know it to be, it doesn't make sense because it's something that was hidden. It was meant.
Oh, we've lost him again for the time being.
Yeah, it looks. I suppose that sluice could be for flooding if it doesn't go anywhere, and I don't know.
Potentially, it's like the steps. If I lived there personally, and I'd obviously much later than the original build, I'd make some steps going down so I could sit and put me dangle my feet in the river, have a paddle, because obviously the height of the rest of it's higher. But that would be a personal thing for me, I'd consider doing that.
Well, Rob Random.
Oh, he's back.
Rob Random said they're there to clear debris from the waterfall.
Again, another sensible potential explanation.
Yeah, or it does. I mean, I think where I'm confused is why that hasn't been fenced off in the last 100 years or recently, especially with snowflake health and safety issues of some child falling in there or something. I'm surprised they haven't blocked it off or whatever. But
saying that, Adrian, I live near-ish to a canal, and when you walk past the canal, there's houses on the opposite side, and all of them are open. All of them are open to the canal.
Private,
so I don't think it.
They?
Yeah. I presume. Barrie, are you there? Well, no. I presume this is because if you look at some of the other image, there's a shed there. It looks like there's people's gardens, so I presume that's the back of someone's house.
I think Barrie lived in that shed.
That looks like some form of cement works or something, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think Barrie actually lived in that shed for a while. In all seriousness, from the chat, someone said, but you just want to get a big hammer in there or a Kango, don't you, and just smash into it.
Get the Kango out.
Yeah. But
then if you did that, you'd flood potentially the vaults beneath, and whatever is in there, you could spoil.
I'll be interested to know because we're running out of time, aren't we? If Barrie runs a detector over it, or how it's going with his local archaeologists and also the water authority, the environmental agency.
Yeah, Scotty B's just said there are giant steps for me, the gnome.
Yeah, but I don't know. Barry's not quite divulged. I don't expect him to say how or who gave him the information, but I'd be very interested on what he does, how he's got this information, just roughly a bit more.
Well, every potential myth and folklore have all got a degree of truth in them from the past. Barrie, you're back.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we've pulled away from the images.
It keeps kicking me out of StreamYard, guys. I don't know.
Don't worry, mate. Don't worry. Yeah. So obviously, potentially, there's room for some form of archaeological survey, which means that obviously the water's going to be.
Yeah.
Is there no way, because of the shallowness, that they'll be able to perform some form of geophysical survey of that site, given the water's running? Because, as you say, it's not deep.
No. I asked them this question, and they said, look, to get the readings that we're going to need, it's best to shut it off. And why not, with that sluice gate being there anyway? If, it's going to literally take the Environment Agency 2 minutes to open it and to divert the water. So the best thing about it, like, it doesn't do anything to the watercourse. That's one of the ideal things about this. It just literally moves it from one side of it to the other side and doesn't interfere with the watercourse. So that's a good thing.
Mm. Pomsey Metal Detecting asked, Barry, are you a Freemason?
No, but I'm a registered Templar under the Order of Valencia. But this is based on the information that I approached them with the information that I know to be true, and their records and their accounts of what they understand to be matching theirs as well. But they just didn't know the location.
Pomsey, I'm one. I'm a Freemason. And there's somebody else, I don't know if he's going to divulge it or not, but there's somebody else in the chat room I know who is as well, a brother. So we're left in the quandary now, is that you're basically at a time scale when the Environmental Agency will be able to do that, to change the water course, to coincide with a geophysiological survey, magnetometry results, etc., etc. What happens if these find no evidence of there being a vault or any open area beneath the watercourse?
I look like an absolute twat.
I was thinking you just move to the side a little bit, but the entire area could be looked at. But yeah, okay.
In all honesty, Barry, when you contacted the Environmental Agency, did you give them more knowledge than you can let on to the average person on the show tonight that you know? Or did they first say, hold on, I'll put you through to the whatever department? How did you convince them?
A bit like Nicolas Cage in National Treasure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how did you convince them?
Well, the best thing is that the legends, everything, and there are statements that this stuff is meant to be there. And they've been doing a lot of digs on the Hounslow Heath for many, many years, uncovering Roman remains. And they've been doing this for quite some time, all on the Heath. This is part of the Heath. So I approached them saying, this is part of a Roman structure, Roman vaults, so in hindsight, there, the possibility is quite high because they know about the Roman settlement.
Oh dear, it's gone again. Yeah. Environmental Agency are hacking into his feed so he doesn't disclose too much. That's what it is. But you see where I'm coming from, Dave.
Sites around there, so there wasn't no problem.
What do you think, Barry? Obviously, you've believed this to be a significant location of the Templar treasure, but the likes of the people working on Oak Island believe that they've got a possible location of the Templar treasure.
Yeah, there wasn't no problem.
As does Roslin Chapel in Scotland. Do you believe it may have been split and gone into different places, or are you 100% sure that, well, we don't say 100% sure. Are you certain that this is the spot?
I'm certain that most of the stuff is here. Yeah, if and when when I pull this out to not be just a fairy tale, and this proves.
Come on, Barry. Come on, Barry.
Come on, Barry.
Come back.
Worked. Oh, it's gone again. It's
No.
certainly interesting nonetheless. I mean, I didn't know the Duke of Northumberland River existed until, obviously, I was introduced to this story. Did you know about it, Adrian?
Beginning, then I do have. I'm back.
Yeah. I don't know where we were. Where were we, Dave? So I think we're talking about trying to tell the environmental agency and stuff, because bit about you, Barry. You're not a fully qualified archaeologist, are you? Just
No, of course not.
No. What? Mind me asking, what do you do for a job, Vicar?
I used to have my own company in the logistics, but I got diagnosed with leukemia in 2012. I suffer from blood clots and so on. So I've gone back to work a few times, but I keep ending up having major blood clots again. It keep messing up my system. I keep my legs keep getting a little bit screwed up. So that's why I come back down to the Forest of Dean, to be honest, so I could actually my family could help me a little bit. So so what I do at the moment is just trying to get by the same as everybody else, is true, and just trying to finish what I started with this 4 years ago. That's literally what I'm doing right now.
I take it your journey within the last 4 years, you've learned not so much about this in particular, the Templar treasure, but you've learned a massive amount, I'd take it, about history in general. Adrian, have you found out a lot of history in general since you started metal detecting?
Massive. Yeah. And I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've heard a lot more. Sorry, I've got it broke up. It seems to be really slow. I've learned a lot more about things that were not being told. That's one thing that I have learned. That history has only been written by the victors, and a lot of it has been misconstrued, and that is fact. If people want to come against me on that one and go that's a lie, no, it's not. That is complete fact. We're missing so much of our history, and I think it's for a reason. And this is what part of this is for. Like I say, this isn't a treasure. This is more about information. I'm
with you. So, Adrian, I asked you the question. You've learned a lot about history in your 4 or 5 years involved in the subject. Is it 4 or 5 years?
Me? No, I started detecting when I was a little boy.
I'm sorry, granddad. I'm tired. For some reason, I've got 4 or 5 years in my head.
No. Oh, that's weird. My lights just went dim and bright. It's probably my granddad. No, my granddad, not going off subject, my granddad got a Garrett machine from America in the mid-70s from my uncle who was in the RAF out there. And as a kid, he had a farm behind his house and we went out detecting. Romans were on the surface then. And then as I've grown older, my dad had a detector, went out of him. And then as the kids got older, my kids, I've proper got back into it. But you're right. I think now with the internet and books being published a lot more freely than they were years ago because of printing costs, I've found out so much more. And it's funny you should say that. I was only going through Finds Identified 2, the new one out, last night. And I was going through it, looking at stuff that I've chucked away, which potentially were parts of a fibula. Or, do you know what I mean? Years ago. Yeah. I keep everything now, but everything's got a bit of history. Do you remember Kariba Crush drink in the 70s?
Yeah.
I found a can of that about a year ago, and I got excited because it had like 8p on the can. And I
found a top deck, was it?
Yeah, top deck shandy.
I found one of them, yeah.
And you're right, a Roman didn't drink it, but it brings back a bit of history when I was like 8 or 9. And did you have Corona bottles up north?
Yeah. With the Corona man come down on Friday. Yeah. With
the 10p refund thing. I found one of those the other day. I was like so excited, but yeah, it's true, detecting it, and it also brings you into the other aspects of history. And it's interesting what Barry was saying about rivers and stuff, because when you're researching a permission, it's amazing. The River Thames flowed through Braintree, part of Essex, back in the 1500s, and it was diverted off. and not a lot of people know that. So there's a famous Roman road from London to Colchester, and the Thames was near it, and that was diverted off. So you learn a lot about your land and your areas around. And witchcraft, again, that's another one. It's all relevant history. I think, like Barrie said, some stuff's, personally, I don't think it's been hidden, but I think a lot of metal detectorists are unearthing a lot of new history, which is changing history. So we see that with 96% of finds last year from metal detectorists.
Yeah.
So I think we should have a rally on Barrie's River. When COVID's free, get about 50 people there with their machines and see what happens.
When it comes to the Holy Grail, Barrie, I'm in full belief that the Holy Grail, the Ark of the Covenant, etc., may not have existed in a biblical capacity, but may have existed in another capacity. And I believe, obviously, I've looked into the history of the Templars in depth. I've become quite communicative with Cole Cookson and Hamilton Cook from the forgot what it's called, Lost Relics of the Knights Templar, and what they've got, what they found, and I've been privy to information that's not been on the TV, is absolutely staggering when it comes to the Knights Templar. It really is. And them things themselves off the show, Adrian, were phenomenal. The Black Obsidian Goblet and such like, absolutely phenomenal. And they're currently filming season 2 as well, by the way. So look forward to that. And hopefully if we...
10p refund bottle top.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Did you put it in for refund?
Yeah, and the bloke in the shop looked at me like a nutter. So, no. Okay. Sorry, Dave.
I'll do that now. So, Barrie, what's next?
Go on.
What's next, Barrie?
Right, next steps. What's next is waiting for this date off the Environment Agency. I know that the Duke of Northumberland River just had a major flood of sewerage. One of the sewerage things burst his bank up near Isleworth going back a few weeks ago. So I'm guessing that they're probably not coming back to me at the moment because of that. I'm guessing I know they got a major cleanup operation going on. So I'm guessing, I'm predicting that it's going to be around about the end of March, beginning of April, that I can get the date together for the scan. Once I got that, then and the scan can then say, okay, there seems to be a structure here which shouldn't be there. That's when it all really kicks off from that point. At the moment, I'm just dead in the water sort of thing. I'm just sat here waiting and relying on other people just to come through on their dates. And once that all falls into place, then I can start revealing a little bit more of my story and a little bit more of the information that I want to be telling people. But like I say, I don't want to at the moment. It's just not right. It's the right time.
And you personally, are you still going to be going down and exploring the area?
Yeah, we'll go down, just checking on it, make sure everything's okay. Go down with Steve. Like I say, the weather's not been Steve and Jackie. Sorry, the weather's not been brilliant at the moment, so we can't really do much down there at the minute. Anyway, it's been since sort of November of last year. We haven't done much. You can't really do much, and especially what's going on with lockdown and them trying us being not able to go anywhere. It's made it even that little bit more difficult. So.
Just one quick question, Barrie. Historically, have you looked at, obviously, maps of the river layout that you're looking at over the years? No, he hasn't. Oh, dear. Thinking about it. 50p in the metre.
Well, why he's not there, we've got obviously a couple of things that we usually end the show with. The Detecticon, Scotty B, the North of Tyne Detecting up in Northumberland in July, is now completely sold out this week. The Rodney Cook, I think it's been more or less confirmed as for the 3rd to the 5th of September. Bear with me, I'm not 100% sure on the dates. I might have that wrong. And I think that the Digging for Veterans is 2 weeks up after that, September the 20th, there or thereabouts. Detectable, I'm still unsure if that's going ahead. And there was another one announced this week, a big rally, but I didn't get the information down quick enough. But I'm more or less, we'll get an update from Gary Cook. Try and get a pre-recorded thing at the very least off Gary to talk about the Rodney Cook rally for this year. And as I say, Detectacon's fully booked. And Detecting for Veterans, I'll get some more information off Jason Massey for that. And I'll contact Mark Becker regarding if Detectable, the main Detectable 2021 is going ahead as of yet or not. Are we back, Barry?
Sorry, Dave, just quickly. Sorry, Dave. Scotty B said there's 20 tickets left on Detectable in the chat. Dave's gone quiet.
Sorry, Luke rang me. Scotty messaged me the other day saying, I presume it must be, I think it must be the camping one that's all sold out then. There's been a further 20 tickets released for Detectacon. So I do apologise. I'm giving you semi-false information. 20 more tickets have been released for Detectacon. So just pop Detectacon in your search engine and you'll find that page via the North of Tyne Metal Detecting website. I think I'm correct in saying that. Sorry, Scotty, who doesn't reply to text when he messaged me, by the way. Well, Barry, it's been a pleasure speaking to you in bursts. And we obviously would like you to keep in touch with us, keep us updated of everything that goes on. I'm sure a lot of people will be interested to learn the future of the project, as I've been calling it the project all day. I hope that's all right.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, it's Look, why don't you? I've got an offer for you. Look, if I get the date for the Environment Agency confirmed, why don't you guys come down and take a look at this yourself? Why, you're more than welcome to come down there and do something alongside this.
Much appreciated. I live a little bit far north, but if I'm off on that particular day, I can certainly jump on the train. And Adrian lives about, well, I don't know where Essex is in comparison to London. He's south, so he must be close.
Where about Middlesex, isn't it, Barry?
Yeah, Heathrow. Basically, bang on top of Heathrow.
Yeah,
mate. That's literally where it is, Adrian. Literally.
About an hour and a half from me. So, now COVID, probably an hour. Yeah, probably an hour from me.
If you cough on route, Adrian, everyone will move out your way anyway.
Well, I'll be on a bike anyway. I'll cycle. That's what keeps this, Dave. Cycling every day, 30 miles.
With your Quest strapped to your back by the shaft.
My big shaft, yeah.
Adrian, my cousin, he does all the riding as well. He was meant to be going to the Pyrenees earlier on this year until it all got cancelled. They were going to do all the riding over the Pyrenees mountains and all that kind of stuff. So they're well into that. So
yeah,
I prefer the seat on my sofa, to be honest.
Yeah. Sorry, Barry, I was mocking you myself. I don't ride a bike. I have one in the shed, but it hasn't been out for a few years. But this is purely
is it one of them ones that it's like an ornament?
It's Dave. It's got cobwebs on it. Yeah. No, it's just detecting for me. That's all it is.
With the girth of your shaft.
Yeah, just mincing in mud. That's what I do.
Well, everybody, it's been great as ever. Barry, it's been a pleasure speaking to you, learning all about the project, learning all about the potential, the theory of the vault below the Duke of Northumberland River. And we look forward to learning more and wish you all the best in your project. Next week we have, bear with me because I forgot what the name is. Is it Emily? Metal Detecting yes. Emily. Yeah, so next week we have Metal Detecting Emily with us. I'll be promoting that this week. And we will have, hopefully, some of the pop-up competitions back as well. Don't forget, they are en route, your prizes for the people who have won them. Luke's been running behind with work, and I've been running behind with post-inoculation tiredness. And hopefully, I'll be going out metal detecting with the boy Saddler on Saturday. That's my current plan. We've got a new site, loads of land, loads of field, apparently never detected. And it was great because went to pick pumpkins last year, realised Mrs. Sadler knew the lady who owned the land, and she said, yeah, come metal detect it.
That's like me. Every time my wife says, oh, so-and-so, I'll say, where do they live? She says, oh, White House Farm or something. I go, oh, that's all they're doing, isn't it? It's all permissions.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
I think most of my permissions have come from Mrs. Sadler because she knows all the bloody. She used to work. A family used to own a pub in the country, so she knows all the country bumpkins and people who used to get in there still. So
it's not what you know, not what you know, it's who you know. Definitely.
Do you know? There's a multi-millionaire whose land I metal detect. And he said to me I said, listen, 50-50, explain to him all about the Treasure Act or what have you, give him all the documentation. He went, I don't want that. He said, if you find a coin that's worth 10 grand, just buy me a drink. I'll be all right. I'm happy
Dave,
with that.
get out there. Get out there, Dave.
Well, do you know the thing where the farmers, obviously all the EU rules changed and they used to get paid to keep a field empty and now they're not. So they fill the fields, and his fields are constant. If he's got a summer crop and then straight into a winter crop, so it's very, very difficult to get on there now. Yeah,
my permission with my mates the same at the moment. It's just they're using it more efficiently. Than they were before. I can remember there was fields just full of like poppies and wild flowers because they couldn't farm on it. It looked nice, but no good for detecting on. But you're right.
I can see 3 sites from this particular land. I'll tell you where it is off screen because everybody will know the whereabouts more or less. There's 3 sites I can see from the fields with Bronze Age barrows in them. In it.
Dave, get out there. You won't be on the show next week. You'll be a millionaire.
I'll be finding Corona cans and Top Deck cans and 10p bottle leads.
Sadler Horde.
In it. Barry, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you to Luke, as ever, for producing the show. And thank you, Adrian, you goddamn sexy man, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Have a good week, everybody. Good night.
Many spend their days passively searching for something interesting to do. Others dig in and find it. While nothing is certain, anything is possible. And the anticipation leads you into action. Because it's here that adventures begin. Stories are unearthed. Secrets are revealed. Fortunes are found. Mysteries are solved. And the past is brought to life.